Let's take a quick look at this 3D scan of an orange from Thingiverse. First thing to notice is the rough surface. This makes sense for an orange, but it may not make sense for what we want to do. The challenge is that Pandafold is going to try to flatten the surface of this orange, and the flattening algorithm is going to try to do its best to account for that. Let's take a quick look and see what happens when we flatten this. First thing to notice is this is taking a long time, and I'll show you why in a moment. So this would not be an easy to adjust pattern for this because we have all these red areas here. This indicates that it's probably the surface of the mesh that's causing us a lot of problems. When we're looking at a mesh like this, especially 3D scans, what can frequently happen is we'll get a very textured mesh like this, and it will result in patterns that don't cut very well. If we turn on the wireframe here, we can also see the density of the mesh. If we want to be able to go ahead and pattern this orange, what we would want to do is we would want to reduce the number of triangles so that we're not dealing with such a large number of triangles. Like if we go again and try to cut another pattern here, you'll see it takes a while. So we'd want to reduce the number of triangles. We'd also want to smooth the mesh down. Most 3D scanning software has the capability to smooth the mesh and reduce the number of triangles. I don't have an easy way to show the number of triangles here. Let's look at the import mesh here and see what it looks like. So 278,000 triangles, that's a lot of triangles, and it's probably a lot more detail than we would need to pattern this mesh. So that's one thing to consider with 3D scanned meshes. Pandafold is really meant to be working with a mesh that you've already prepared for patterning. And what that means to prepare the mesh is really specific to your project. But one of the big things with 3D scans is the surface should really be smooth and not terribly dense. So if you can work with your meshes to reduce the density of the mesh, that would improve the results here and also to smooth the surface as well.